never seen the E-mini S&P down 270 points in a day, or the or the E-mini Dow 1650. I don't know. Did they halt trading today? I mean, normally if you break 100, they halt trading. I'm
No,
just
I think they only halt it if it's free market.
okay.
When you have
Only
a
for
gap down, when you
okay.
have a gap down, and then if they halt it and then it hits a circuit, then they'll halt it during equity hours.
Okay,
But
I
I
got you.
think that they have to halt it during uh, uh, pre-market,
During the
I believe
pre-market
first.
on a gap. Anyway, it just
Yeah, on a gap.
I don't know. I didn't know what to expect today. I thought at some point in time it would level off and there'd be some buyback or something like that. But you know what, man? I'm a novice when it comes to these kinds of market conditions. Have you ever seen anything like this, Lance?
Oh yeah, and you know what it kind of reminds me of? Remember the flash crash
Oh,
with all the
okay.
ETFs that were down like 10, 15% in stocks?
Forgot about that. How could
But
I
you
forget
had a
about
lot of
that?
volatility and then they kind of all bounced back.
Yeah.
This was just beautiful controlled selling all day long. And you didn't get that VIX kind of spike and reverse V. It was
Right.
just a good, slow, steady VIX. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. This is, in my opinion, one of the best trading markets. A lot of people try day trading it. That's very difficult, even though, it says, look, here. But what you can do, what I've been doing, Raleigh, is I've actually been selling SPX 0 day options and
Okay.
selling the XXP, the mini, and you could do the E-mini futures with it.
Futures. Yeah.
And Raleigh, I was up like 75% within like 20 minutes.
That's awesome, Lance. Way to
Yeah.
go. Way to
So
go.
I mean, literally, I put on a trade at 10 and then like noon, I went to the gym and stuff, came back, was up 95%, and then didn't have to do anything. So it does present a lot of opportunity. I had a guy just email me, Doug, it was up 24,000 today. My buddy
Oh,
Jeff made over 200,000 today. I had a lot of real good emails, testimonials, and I've only checked literally like a handful. I have like 200 waiting right now. So,
right.
very, very happy. I mean, the market's great. And then tomorrow at 3 p.m., we are having live trading with the wiretap, putting all the trades live together.
Oh,
So
that's great.
come, bring your questions, all that jazz, and we'll get into it. We just had a good session. I was trading live at 3:30 before this, and made a couple $100 in UPS, $195, Walmart like $70, like not bad. I
Good
had a
for
very good
you.
little.
Well, you
Uh,
know, we have a guy here, John. I think you know him. He basically says the UVXY calls are up 2,300%.
yeah, I had a few people message me getting like those crazy because it was such an outsized move this morning. Like
Yeah,
it was insane. I mean, there was puts up 6,000%. I mean, so
I'm
I
not
would always,
surprised though. Yeah,
yeah, I always complain like option prices are expensive, but they're expensive for good reason because you have a move like today. And oh, Phil, good to see you. And obviously, lots of volatility, so they should be expensive. But oh, I don't know. Oh, Deanna, I'm not sure if I'm on YouTube. Am I?
let me see here. I don't see Deanna here in the room. I can check her on Slack.
No, I'm not on YouTube, I don't think.
Hey, I hopped onto the stream YouTube. When you're done, feel free just to turn the stream off. Okay, so Deanna just sent me a message that she hopped onto the stream YouTube. And when I'm done here, just feel free to turn the stream off. So,
Oh, damn, we just told like 100 and something people to stick on YouTube. And oh, it's under the war room. What? Oh, they changed it. I don't know why they changed it on YouTube. All right, well, we'll get rolling here. Welcome. Damn. Let me actually message them, Raleigh, because I don't see. And
Yeah, let's just check that
sure.
out because we got a bunch of people here to see you. And if they're split between the room and YouTube, we need to bring everybody together because what you're going to share is pretty important. And as you said, you're going to follow up with live trading tomorrow at 3 o'clock on placing these wiretap trades against the backdrop of everything that's going on. And I like the fact that so many people have just logged in and said, yeah, they're taking advantage. I love the way you put that.
Oh, good.
It's been a slow, steady slide, and you can take advantage of those.
Yeah, uh it's when it's controlled selling, like it's not just like some random news, like some bad headline news that shoots the markets down.
Yep.
I do think, it's not going to be easy. And I was telling folks earlier, you had crypto frauds, NFTs, AI, quantum computing frauds, you had Bitcoin frauds, you had all this like new money in the market that is now gone.
Gone.
All that kind of BS is out the market, which is good because now the big boys and big girls get to play and all the weak hands will be gone out. It's like that 18-year-old who wins the lotto and buys a Lamborghini and then at 20 he's broke. That's what happened to a lot of people in the stock market. They're like, this is so easy. And then they're like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? So
yeah, you're right.
So I am glad you all are here. You're in good hands. It is very happy to see everyone, and hopefully we can do this tomorrow live together at 3 p.m. So don't worry. I will take you by the hand, step by step of the way, and we'll walk through the wiretaps. We actually got real good wiretaps. Let me pull them up here. Not supposed to show you all this, but we had a 92% winner in bonds last Friday, 26% loser in Wells Fargo. That actually went up. And then a 2% winner in ABBV. If we would have held them all, actually would have been up a ton more. But I mean, 96% in a weekend is pretty good return. So we trade everything. Individual stocks, TLT, GLD, you name it. We'll do it, Raleigh.
So the question on everybody's mind is, how do you know which trade to take? Will you tell us?
Yes, and we'll actually be doing that live in person, or not in person, but live tomorrow. So I'm very happy. Raleigh, they booted me out the calendar because of this S&P day trade thing that I can't say anything bad about, but it took all my spotlight. But now we're back and we're live trading.
There tomorrow, you go.
3 p.m. So get scheduled today. Raleigh will give you the hookup here in about 30 minutes. Yep. How you can do it. And I got a lot of questions, so hopefully I can answer some of those questions today and even tomorrow. And then if you shoot me an email, stonkamaniabrother@gmail.com, I'll respond by tomorrow morning because I got my email up and running.
Yeah, I was about to say, no more of that, suspicious support email. This is direct to Stockamania.
Yeah, it's my own stonkamaniabrother@gmail.com. So go ahead and shoot me and holler.
Sounds great. Well, here's what I'm going to do, buddy. I'm going to fade into the background. I'll keep an eye on the chat and I'll come back and join you during Q&A. So the floor is all yours, man.
Awesome. All right, let's get to it, gang. And thank you, Raleigh, for being here. Please take a minute to read this. We've been doing this since 2021 now, this program. Past performance, not indicative of future results. Trade at your own risk. You click your mouse. I can't do it for you. I only got 2 pointers. From September 17th, 2021 till March 31, 2025, the average win rate is 67.5%. The average weighted return on options, 6% over 3 days. The weekend, see the terms on the Trading Pub homepage. And of course, losses will happen. I had some today. As you saw my post, I lost like $890 on Coinbase. Full transparency. There will be losers. There's no perfect system. If I was perfect, I would be 6'2" or 6'3" playing in the NBA, but I'm 5'9" on a good day. And I can't predict the future. But if you can't handle losing a trade, don't trade with money you can afford to lose or invest. But you can always trade simulated or demos to get rolling. So I'm Lance Saputo. I wore that shirt yesterday, not today. March has been labeled the worst month since 2022, and April has not been better. 3.1 trillion was wiped off the markets in the last 30 days, and some of the top stocks in the whole entire market have taken a hit. Microsoft, Amazonia, the King, Nvidia, and while that's happening, we saw a different story unfold over the weekend. You sound hollow. I don't know. Did something happen to my mic? Might have. We got a new computer, so maybe something happened to the mic. I apologize. You see, for some reason, in the last 3 weeks, the market have opened higher on Monday. That's higher. Monday, March 17th, Monday, March 24th, Monday, March 31st. So maybe write this down or make a note of it for tomorrow. And based on what I'm seeing today, I think it can happen again this April. So this upcoming Monday, which is why I want to invite you to take my top 3 trade ideas for the weekend. Here, let's try to fix the mic. Riley, are you getting a bad audio?
I would say this. I mean, there's a little bit of echo in it, but we hear you crystal clear. So I would say this, Lance, your volume's up a little bit more than normal, but it's
Oh,
picking up everything that you're saying. And there's a little bit of, a little tiny bit of echo there. But the point is this, is we
oh,
hear you. There's no problem with that. But I don't,
weird.
yeah,
Huh.
I don't know if there's a setting or something that you want to mess with later, but we can hear you. We can deal
Huh.
with it.
Maybe something with the YouTube I was on earlier. So I want to give you my top 3 trade ideas. So I don't do one. I always do about 3 trades per weekend. And I'll walk you through the setups. We'll put them on live together as well. And one that hints at which stocks are most likely to pay out over the weekend. Now, I call this a wire, and it's often used by the big Wall Street institutions ahead of the weekend news. Now, it's giving you folks out there, which I appreciate so much, to do these trades Friday at 3 p.m. and then wake up on Monday with some pretty awesome results. It happened the 19th of January this year. We saw it in Adobe, and that was a sign that something could make the headlines over the weekend. Now, this stock, I mean, if you look at the chart, it's not that great. The stock got downgraded, but it didn't matter because we saw a wire come for Adobe stock. And Monday came, the stock rallied almost $30, and our trade was good for 82%. Friday to Monday. 2,000 if you put in would be 3,600 bucks. If you want to do 200 bucks, that's 364 bucks. It's fine too. That's more than most people work all week and make. But we did that in a weekend. And it's not the only time. Since we started leveraging these wires, going back till 2021, wow, 4 years now, we've used names like Qualcomm, ARM, Palantir, NVIDIA, AMD, General Motors, Newmont Mining, Verizon, Google. And the part that makes today's session so important is because we want to take advantage tomorrow. We're going to do it live together, and we'll pinpoint you, and hopefully maybe we'll do even more than 3, exactly what names, what trades to get into. And as I mentioned, we're just following the biggest orders from Wall Street, hopefully ahead of some news headlines over the weekend. And by spotting them on Friday, and I'll get to more on why we do this every Friday, to position ourselves ahead of the weekend. We did this one in Palo Alto Networks, PANW. Didn't know what was going to happen, but just like last time, the wire was right. Palo Alto surprised investors, beating their earnings per share by 24%. And the stock had about a $10 move higher. The trade that we did was up 77%. 1,000 was over $1,700. Now, I never expected these wires to work during all the uncertainty we have. I mean, if you recall back in 2021, that was a crazy period, right? But because we're opening trades on Friday, closing them on Monday, we're able, and this has been really the key to success, I would say in 2025, we're able to capture nice outsized returns and sidestep all the midweek volatility, kind of like the whole tariff news that we've seen today. We did 43% in MAC, Dr. Pepper, 42%, Keurig, 38% in IC. And here's what's cool. These returns are not just inside a model portfolio, but some of y'all have sent in your results too. Lewis, $4,200 in 2 months. Damon, 2 weeks, paid for the program. John, that might be John here, who we love, and John trades some size, $6,000. Mary, 100%. Nancy, there he is. Peloton, MGM, Pfizer. Now, if this is your first webinar with me, that Armani jacket does not fit anymore. I've had too many donuts, and I have cut my hair. In a former life, I used to trade some pretty big size. I was an analyst at an investment bank, and now I get to kind of wear shorts all day and tank top. So out of that fancy lifestyle, thankfully. And you probably realize holding a trade overnight, even during the week, has been risky. I get it. The market has been riddled with tariff, rate hikes, recession. Ooh, I feel like every day you wake up to new news, and it's left the market volatile, very, and difficult. So if you struggled, it's probably not because you're a bad investor, but rather the midweek volatility has made it really difficult. You know, you're going to go home, turn on the news, and it's going to be tariffs, stock market decline. I get it. Based on everything happening right now, sadly, that probably won't change. But by trading on Friday, we put on these positions and close them out on Monday, we're able to bypass a lot of that volatility, sidestepping this and isolating individual stocks like Penn Gaming. I mean, you know, Barstool Sports, they bet on football, college football, basketball, all that stuff. 25%. CrowdStrike, cyber company, 33%. RTX, Raytheon Defense, Square, 74%. Now, thanks to this wire pattern, we could see which names have big weekend news, good or bad. And it's given us a major advantage in the kind of market that we're dealing with right now. For example, we picked up $330,000 wire on Royal Caribbean, the cruise liner, meaning someone on Wall Street was making a pretty big bet that shares would move higher. So we did the trade live together, like we're going to do tomorrow at 3 p.m. with the Wiretap members. And sure enough, Sunday afternoon, Business Headliner had a feature on Royal Caribbean, saying they built the largest cruise ship, the Wonder of the Seas. Now, when the market opened up on Monday morning, the stock was up about $5. The trade from the wire was up 139%. That was more than double your money opportunity. But here's the thing. If we held on throughout the week, we would have got wrecked. The markets went down. We would have lost our gains. And for that reason, I believe trading these wires is one of the safest, more conservative ways to approach the stock market right now. By opening trades on Friday afternoon and by closing them on Monday morning, we're able to limit our exposure, our risk, without having to sacrifice opportunities. Now, if you're wondering, why is this possible? It's not that hard to know that we live in a information-driven technology. You got e-signal, you got WhatsApp, you got telegrams, Facebooks, MySpace, no, just kidding. Snapchat, take a picture, it disappears. TikToks. Information is leaked. It's shared, not just over the elite, but people within companies, lawyers, accountants, bankers, corporate insiders, trade desk. And it's traded on before it hits the mainstream news. And that's happening a lot right now. Bloomberg said 42% of mergers are found to be leaked. So unless you have information being passed around, well, you probably don't if you're here. Some some of those people are in jail now from back in the day, but right now there's really no way to get ahead of the weekend news. But that's where my system comes in. It's called a wiretap, and it's able to flag these wire transactions nearly every single Friday afternoon. That's how we've been able to spot on Wall Street acting on leaked intel before it goes mainstream. It happened with Peloton back in February when the stock, we all know this story. It went straight down. I bought my mom and sister one during COVID, and it was a coat hanger, let's be honest. Fortune said they were seeing a reduction in demand. The stock was left for dead. But on Friday, we saw a wire of $339,000. So I took a quick trade alert, sent it off just like that, as you can see. I went to dinner, almost forgot about the trade. Then I checked my phone and had a screenshot from a buddy on his Robinhood account saying Peloton stock surged 19% after hours. Rumors of a potential Amazon leaked right after the close. But because we were already in on Friday, we were already in position. So when Monday came out, we closed Peloton and made not 26%. The stock was up around 30%. We made 226% on the trade that we showed right there. From Friday at 3 p.m. to Monday, about 10 minutes after the opening bell. So about 40 minutes of total trade time. Most folks have never experienced that kind of win, but we, talking about each and every one of you, were able to do it in a weekend. Paul, John, Ruth, Buck, Rado, send us a screenshot for $521. Great job. Now, even though I consider this conservative strategy, doesn't mean we haven't seen some outsized returns. We've done Starbucks, Zoetis, Plug Power. Now, of course, there'll be wins, smalls, big break-evens, and losses along the way, but that's normal. And yeah, the market is a little scary right now. But we can have confidence knowing these wires have won 7 out of every 10 trades we've opened up. So if you're wondering, why Friday? Let me tell you, so you can understand the why behind it, because that's what I want you to pick up on. Rarely will companies start the weekend with bad news. They prefer to release their best news sometime over the weekend. It allows them to start the week on a positive note, get that momentum, get everyone on Wall Street talking about the stock, get the media, the CNBCs, the Bloombergs, the Wall Street analysts to push the stock up. It's referred to as news flow theory. So if you maybe get an email or check bar chart or CNBC Monday morning, see what stocks are up pre-market, it's because the news breaks over the weekend. For example, happened in Marvel, a semiconductor for $527,000 wire. Sure enough, before the close, this was interesting, Wells Fargo was named Marvel Technologies, their top semiconductor stock.
Dumb question.
Somebody probably knew that was coming. Why else would they wire $526,000 on a Friday afternoon? So when the market opened, Marvel stock popped. It was good for 43%. 2,500 was over $3,525. That's the beauty. We don't care what the S&P or the Dow is doing because we're in these individual stocks for such a small amount of time. a lot can go drastically wrong, but at the same time, a lot can go very, very right. And thanks to these wire signals, we have a good idea which stocks could see big weekend news. So you might be wondering, how do you spot these? What is a wire? A wire is a special transaction used by hedge funds, big institutions, the whales, the big money insiders. And like I've shown you today, they often appear on Friday just before a big weekend news release. One firm explains the trader wants to take a position in a hurry, staying under the radar, hence why the Friday afternoon. Put simply, they're trying to sneak hundreds, millions of dollars into a stock without anyone noticing. And by tracking these wires on Friday afternoon, we can single out what individual companies Wall Street is buying. That's how we've been able to spot on Wall Street acting on this leaked intel before it goes mainstream. It happened with a keyboard stock, Corsair Gaming. In fact, I actually have their keyboard right here. This was one of the biggest trades I've had. The stock was public, but it was not in the good graces of Wall Street. But on 3/27, we flagged 6 wire transactions in a second. This told me Wall Street was taking a position in a hurry in anticipation of a big story. All told, these traders wired $579,000 to this beat-down gaming stock. In this instant, I personally opened the trade before the market closed, right around 3:30. And then I woke up Monday to see headlines about Corsair Gaming. When the market opened, the stock popped. The trade was up 610%. $1,000 was over 7,000. Yet you didn't need $1,000. It only took 125. And that would have been good enough for over $880. So you don't need a big account. I was in the trade for about 30 minutes or so. Here's the broker statement to prove it. 15:28 in, 9:30, 46 seconds out. To be fair, that was an insanely rare trade. It does not happen every day, but plenty to be worthwhile and put a nice smile on your face. In January, we had 82%. February, closing 113% win. March, 26%. April, 33%. June, 74%. July, 46%. And fast forward to 2025, January, we had a 76% winner, a 63% winner on Amazon, 39% winner, 16% winner, a 20% winner, a 24% winner. And in March, despite the very difficult market, we had a nice first solar gain for 35% and a 92% winner on TLT, the bond ETF, and close to 100% winner on the SQQ, which is the inverse NASDAQ. Now, based on what I'm seeing right now, I can't wait to do this again tomorrow with you. Historically speaking, when quarter one performs poorly, April sunshine comes. And maybe that starts tomorrow, which is why I expect to see a repeat of these weekend rallies. Now, in just a minute, I'll invite you to the very next steps. But before we get there, I want to show you how and why this works. Now, these wires, here's how they do it. They're broken up and scattered, meaning they're almost impossible to track without highly sophisticated software. But the wiretap system, its goal is to scan these option exchanges for the specific Friday afternoon activity. Now, when it does, it takes into account trade size, big premiums. We can confirm it in time and sales. That's how we catch them. And of course, we want to look at the trading volume. When they line up in a specific way, it will trigger a wiretap alert. And understanding how it works is quite complicated, but the general idea is very easy. When a wiretap flags hundreds of thousands, millions sometimes piling into a stock in seconds, we can confidently enter the trade, knowing someone from Wall Street is expecting a big news event to move the stock. It happened in Las Vegas Sands. The casino stocks are usually the best. Obviously, someone in the casino life always knows something. 14 wire transactions on Las Vegas Sands, meaning someone with some good information knew the stock could move higher. So they wired into the stock and then got an analyst upgrade from Wells Fargo. When the market opened at 9:30, it was up 67%. The wire trade. $5,000 in was over $8,300. Now that was a lot of money, a big impact. Obviously, we all know how expensive things have become. The average home in the US is approaching $500,000. The average new car payment is, can't believe that, $730. But thanks to these wire signals, we have a weekly chance at trading the stocks most likely to move Monday morning. We've done it 355 times, our win rate, over the past, what is it now? Approaching 4 years. From Google to Eli Lilly to the McDonald's to Walgreens to CVS to AMAT to PA&W to Square to Schwab to Nordstrom's. And while there's no guarantees, I think the strategy is going to do even better, especially with all the uncertainty in the markets, which is why tomorrow I want to invite you, do it with me live, and about 100 other folks out there. I'll send you the full details for these weekend wiretap alerts, but I do have a little spoiler to share. We just don't do one every weekend. We do 3. And to my knowledge, it's the only weekend trading program that has outperformed the market. And when I say consistently, I can back it up. We launched this program in September of 2021. We've had over 355 winners, 171 losses. The average hold time is the weekend, so Friday to Monday, that's 3 days. We have winners and losers, but the average weekend return is 6%. And remember, we're doing 3 trades per weekend trade. So not just 1 or 2 or 3, sometimes even 4. Now, if a savings account paid 6%, well, that would be insane, but it says $500 would be over 19,000. But if you want to join, let me give you the full details, and I appreciate you being here. Each Friday, my team and I will monitor the system. When it identifies a wire so big, so unusual, someone is trying to capitalize on a weekend news, we'll pick the exact wiretap trade so you can do it too. Each alert at 3 p.m. will send to you text, email, telegram. Just follow the instructions. Very easy. You don't need any fancy broker account. Schwab, Fidelity, Robinhood, E-Trade, all fine. There's no option permission required. If you could do a call or a put or do the stock, that's it. Then on Mondays, there's no diagonals, no spreads, no calendars, none of that stuff. We'll give you a pre-market game plan at 9 a.m. so you know exactly what to do. Each weekend wiretap portfolio is tracked in real time and monitored. So just note, you just don't get 1 pick, you get 3. 3 trades minimum every Friday at 3 p.m. That's over 150 unique alerts every single Friday. Each one is ranked to help manage your risk, from big trades to small trades to medium trades. That's how we've been able to do so well during these past 4 years. And thanks to y'all, some active members like Robert, who did Apple for 102%, Ford for 112%, LI for 15%, Rose for 83%, John 9,000, and we continuously get dozens of notes, which I do thank you so much. Robert, really like the trades. Lance delivered what was advertised. Dickens, a simple way to profit, requiring very little time. That was the goal. Gabriel, best option swing trading program I ever used. Daniel, it's worth the investment. Now, before we do share the hookup with you today, so thank you, Raleigh, for hosting us. Please note, we'll never deliver a trade we don't think has the best potential. We sort through hundreds and hundreds each Friday. And I know the market has let people down. I don't want you to be discouraged. My goal is to give you a new opportunity, a new way that still exists in the stock market. But let's say it's not for you. Please call our customer care team within the first 14 days after you sign up, and we'll refund you your subscription. we want to make sure you're taken care of. Quite frankly, you're hedged for 2 weeks. So if I'm being honest, not too concerned. Obviously, people refund, things happen. Heck, maybe you get a new poodle and you say, Lance, every Friday at 3 p.m., I got to take them for a walk. I feel you. Go walk your poodle. Wiretaps have shown even the best performance during tough times. For example, back in January, we had a nice 50% winner on GM. We had a loss on Marathon Oil, but then came back with a 32% win on Semiconductor. So we had 2 wins, 1 loss, but still up around plus 40%. 2 plays worth 15 and 21%. Eli Lilly, Dollar General. We did Disney, Enphase, and gold. Gotta love gold there. We've done names like Amazon, Cheryl Williams, Bank of America, Square, American Airlines, the SQQQ, which is my favorite hedging instrument, as you can see there. In September, we did Microsoft, US Steel, Datadog, and in October, we did EQT and Energy Stock and McDonald's and United. November, Qualcomm, Walgreens, Amazon, Facebook, QBTS. Now, if you've been a recent member, maybe you signed up a couple months ago, the sale price is $1,500. But today, we're doing something extra special. We're knocking $500 off. Wow. The normal sale price. So I think that's going to be $997. But not just that. We're going to give you never-ending VIP access, completely free. So that's lifetime for $997. Wow. Meaning, I'm shocked to even know that, gang, because usually it's $1,500 a year. But if it says you get lifetime VIP, the words don't lie. Meaning there's no renewal fees, never again. But with that said, the offer is available only till midnight. I knew there had to be some catch because it sounded too good to be true. Not going to lie. I knew there had to be something in there. So if you're ready to join the Wiretap alerts for life, for life, you get it forever with no renewals, just a one-time payment of $997. Go ahead. Go to lanceapolito.com/wiretap, a long Italian last name. The easiest way is to click the link in the chat. Once you do, you're hooked up. $997 VIP lifetime. If you are a member, thank you so much. Feel free to call 904-706-3539, or you can leave your name and number, and our team will get to you, and obviously you'll be honored for this as well. Or if you like to call via telephone, call 904-706-3539. That's 904-706-3539. We have team members in Florida who will get to you. Now, your first 3 trades come tomorrow. And again, we're doing those live. If you can't make it, no worries. You'll still get text, email, telegram, full trade alerts and details at 3 p.m. just tomorrow, because I do expect to have new people sign up today. And do it before midnight, please. I just want to do it step by step, take you by the hand. Well, virtual hand, we'll say. But I want to showcase how we do it live together at 3 p.m. So that's kind of the bonus that you get today, and the opportunity to do it every Friday at 3 p.m. 3 trades for life. Access to the trade room will be in the members area. You'll also get a text, email, telegram saying probably at 2:30, come join. Now, let me get to some of the questions in the chat here in 1 minute, but we also have some common questions. What is the average cost? And can you just do this with calls and puts? Yep, just calls, sometimes puts as well. Only $156 to get in. So if you have a small account, you're good to go. Big account, you could do more contracts. The average price is only $156 to get in, and that's across 400 alerts. Will we trade every close every trade on Monday morning? Sometimes we need an extra day for it to develop. If that case, we'll let you know. But a majority close on Monday morning. Does it work with the put options too? Yes, it does. Some of the best trades have actually been to the downside, like PDD, plug, ZTS, 113%. So if you're ready to get started for the cheapest price, and that is, especially for life, kind of unheard of because usually they charge like 1,500 bucks the sale price. Some programs that I see are like 2,000 bucks, very expensive. This is only 997, and this has been around, like I said, since September of 2021. So it's held the test of time. Go ahead, click the link in the chat. Just my name, lanceapolito.com/wiretap. And when you do, let me run down what you'll get, and then we'll get to the chat questions. Not just one alert, but 3 weekend wiretap alerts every Friday at 3 p.m. Not 1 year, but lifetime to the wiretap trade alerts. Text, email, telegram notifications. The option education crash course. A bonus tax report. All the accelerator classes so you can get caught up and be on the same page and know how to do this. Live trading sessions, which we'll be doing tomorrow. We usually like to meet about once a month or so and do them. The private member secure portal, obviously the trade tracker, and the 14-day money back guarantee. That's 14-day money back guarantee. So try it out for 2 weeks. You're hedged. You got nothing to lose. If after 2 weeks it's not for you, call the team, same number, and they'll refund you your $997 one-time payment right back to you. Raleigh, let's get to some questions in the chat. And I do thank everyone for joining me today at 4. And I want to get to as many questions as possible here. So let me pull it up, Raleigh, for you.
Yeah, no problem. There were some that I jotted down a little bit earlier. Frequently asked question, Lance, is the focus on options, or can people trade the underlying stock as well?
Very good question, Raleigh. And the beauty of it is obviously for the big returns, kind of those outsized returns we talked about,
Right.
that was the option, right? Mostly just a call option, or if it's bearish, because there's also bearish, we'll do a buy a put option. But you can do the stock as well. I know some people like buying and selling the stock. You can, but for those kind of double and triple digit returns, obviously that's using the options.
Absolutely. And if I'm not mistaken, that's just level one options. If we're just buying calls and puts, about as straightforward as you get.
Exactly. So you can do it with a Schwab, Fidelity, E-Trade, Tasty Trade, Robinhood account are all fine. We have
Right.
people who use all of them, and I've used most of them as well.
So there's no day trading here, guys.
Oh,
We're
no.
holding over the weekend, so you don't have to worry about pattern day trading. You can trade in a cash account, you can trade in a margin account, you can trade
Yeah.
in a retirement account. It's about as straightforward as you can go, because that was the other question. Are we trading spreads or iron condors or anything along those lines? And the thing is this, I want people to understand, Lance, if I'm not mistaken, you're basically just mimicking what somebody who knows something is doing. I mean, essentially, you're basically
Exactly.
copying that trade. So when it comes into selecting the strike price, the expiration, etc., you're just doing whatever that guy or gal did.
Exactly, Raleigh. You got it down perfectly. All we're doing is copying the late day Friday sneaky orders, putting them on before 4 p.m., so before the close, and then looking to close them out Monday morning. And you might be saying, why Friday? What is so suspicious about Friday? Well, here's where it gets really good. So, and I've had buddies do this, and they share their stories. If you're in Manhattan, you're New York, Wall Street trader, and or in the hedge fund life, what the hedgies, where do you go Friday afternoon? Or if you're a big shot in New York, maybe you're a regulator or something like that, even a lawyer. Where are you going Friday in the summer in New York? You're going to the Hamptons,
You're going to the Hamptons.
right?
Yeah.
You're going to the Hamptons to go have a good time. So if all the big hedge fund managers are in the Hamptons or the regulators and everyone else, and there's no one to really monitor you. The best time is Friday afternoon when everyone's away to sneak in those big orders.
Yeah.
No one's going to catch you. And then, since you're closing them out on Monday morning and they're still hungover or getting back to the office, or they don't know what happened Friday afternoon because they were too busy in the Hamptons, it gets even better usually as we get to summer because there's less eyeballs. And when there's less eyeballs and there's less of a risk of getting caught, the big boys and the big girls will play.
We'll play.
Um,
Yep.
and we saw that with Wynn Casinos with Tillman Fertitta. He did a 7 million shares and over 7 million wiretap on Wynn. He's now one of the biggest shareholders, individual shareholders.
Gosh.
He's the owner of the Houston Rockets and Landry Steakhouse. I don't think they're still around, but from back in the day. And he made around 270% just on the options, let alone the millions he made in the stock. And it's stuff like that that we really like to find odd, unusual casino stocks. Some of the China ADR stocks usually are very, very, we'll say, suspicious. So when we see them, thanks to the wiretap on Friday afternoon, those are usually the ones we like to really gravitate towards. Donald, real good questions. How's it different than the news flow scanner? So we use very similar filters, Donald, to the news flow scanner, but we're really looking for names that have a history of Friday action that are very repetitive on the Friday flow, where they've had a prior history of working out on Friday afternoons. Yes, if you have level 3, you're fine. Really, you just need option level 1. We're not doing anything complex, just call
Right.
options, put
I think
options.
what Roy wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that if he's level 3, can he trade level 1? Absolutely.
Oh, yes,
You can
yes,
trade level 3, level 2, so you can do spread. You're in great shape,
yes.
Roy.
You can do everything.
And I
Exactly.
wish everybody that traded options basically were at level 3. Lance, just for all the strategies that are out there. But what's great about this, once again, level 1, it's the least. I was going to say it's the least risky, but it's the easiest one to get. Any broker will give you that. And this is a directional trade, folks. We're not expecting to make money off sideways moves. We're expecting a pop on news.
Pop or drop.
Yeah, pop, yeah, pop or drop. And it's
Yes,
not a guess because going in if somebody's, buying a bunch of puts or buying a ton of calls. Man, that's amazing.
exactly, Raleigh. So it's been really good. I mean, not only this year, but the past 4 years now. So we've had the COVID kind of craziness. We had the bear market and the NASDAQ we've gone through in 2022. We've gone through all different times. And we still have done very well. So I really am proud of this program. It's one of kind of the original OG programs that I started from about 4 years ago. So super cool we get to offer it. And Raleigh, for $9.97, a one-time payment for lifetime. So you
For
get it for years
lifetime.
and years with no renewals. It's pretty crazy because usually we would sell it on the webinar special for 1,500 for a year.
Just for a year, exactly. And
And
that
we
was
had
the
hundreds
special
of
price then.
people sign up for it that way. So super cool. Big shout out to the team for offering it. And if you are a member, thank you. You can obviously take advantage of it and get lifetime as well. If you just leave your name and number, Raleigh will see it only.
Yep.
And then we'll have a team member reach out to you, or you could just call that 904-706-3539.
Yep. And they'll answer your questions. So terrific, terrific. And Lance, once again, kudos to you because you're the only person that I know that has just been really hyper focused on exposing these unusual options. And I don't want to say exposing them, figuring out how to take advantage of the fact that this is a reality.
Yes,
You know,
it is. It is for sure. 1000%. I was lucky to make the news flow scanner about 8 years ago and to the retail side, out of the institutional side, and we work with the CBOE and developers and stuff to help with the wiretap, and very very happy that we've been able to offer it over these past 4 years. And uh, I was even shocked, Raleigh, that it was $9.97 for lifetime, because I thought it was,
I know.
when I got the link, I was like, all right, well, $1,500 is the sale price. I'm pretty prepared for that. So super cool. We got to give it a hookup here. So
Well,
thanks
yeah.
a lot.
As a matter of fact, when I was reviewing the data, I thought, wow, there's a $500 discount. It would be $997 for a year, but it is lifetime. I double checked. I double checked. This is VIP lifetime. So that's fantastic. That's an incredible value. And Lance, there was one last question that I saw coming up here. You talk about the fact that three alerts come out on every Friday. Can you talk about the difference between those three alerts?
Yeah, real good question, Raleigh. So if we see, let's say, like lots of energy stocks, we'll usually do like two energy stocks, right? We'll do calls and energy, right? Maybe something's happening in the energy sector over the weekend. And then maybe we'll see some bearish wires in, let's say, retailers like Lululemon, Macy's, um, Restoration Hardware. Maybe we'll see Gap or Victoria's Secret puts, right?
Okay.
Maybe some of those are Target puts. Then what we'll do is we'll say, hey, we're going to do Target puts because we're seeing lots of retailers with bearish wires. So we'll usually spread it out that way. So we're never non-hedged.
Okay.
We're always into these weekend trades with some bullish, some bearish, and it's not just okay, we're hoping and dreaming that this one works out. We have a pretty good gauge of what's happening with the different sectors, and then digging into individual stocks within those sectors that are seeing similar wires on Friday afternoon. Or if we start seeing, like my favorites, when we start seeing MGM, Las Vegas, Sands, Wynn Resorts, and then when we see something like that, it could be Macau numbers are coming out over the weekend. And then we have a pretty good gauge that, hey, we should be buying MGM and Win calls because we have Macau numbers coming out. And we start putting really the pieces to the puzzle together that way.
That's fantastic. So from that standpoint, that brings some of your experience, to play in the way that, you're basically in many ways you're curating the offers that you're giving us, as you said, looking to be hedged across the three trades that are coming in. And that's just smart. Lance, that's
Yes.
awesome. That's terrific.
And that's what we try. Like last weekend, we had ABBV, which actually went up a lot on Monday, calls. Wells Fargo, which was a bank, so that's going to move with the market. And then we had TLT, which was bonds. Well, the market sold off over the weekend, and our bond position was up 90 plus percent. And even though we lost about 20% Wells Fargo and made about 2% ABBV, that one TLT position in bonds, made us up around, 50 plus percent total on the weekend trades. And just from that, 50% over a weekend. I mean, that's huge.
That is
So,
huge. Yeah.
we use that as a big advantage to us. So we're not, let's say market goes down over the weekend on Monday morning. We're not, oh crap, we're going to lose, we're going to lose all three, or our portfolio is going to be down. Usually the trade that we have that is to the downside, or our hedge, like in bonds or SQQ, we've been doing a lot, something like that, we can make 50, 100%. And then you have this massive winner and you're really good starting off the week in the green.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why you saw a lot of SQQQ, which is inverse the NASDAQ, do so much, because we've been using it and it's been working out really, really good for us every single Friday.
Outstanding. Well, folks, we've got Lance here for about another minute or two. This is a great chance to ask him questions about this program. I'm going to stay a little for a few more minutes after Lance signs off, and I'll answer any last minute questions that you have. But I'm just the moderator. Lance is the man, and he's got
Yeah.
his special glasses on, buddy. I tell you what, when he
Yeah, my
watches,
screen,
those are your X-ray vision
my
glasses.
screen, my blue light blockers, we'll say. But
That's
yeah, if
fan-
you guys or girls have any questions, feel free to post in the chat. I didn't get too dressed up for today's webinar because I'm kind of stinky and sweating. I had a nice day. And then I was like, you know what? Should I shower and put on nice clothes? No, I gotta go and got some things outside I want to do and mow and stuff. So I'm like, I'll just stay pretty stinky for the day. So pardon the outfit. Usually the normal hot Florida weather outfit is a tank top anyways.
Well, I tell you what, I think this is the right kind of day to show off the guns, my man. So, all right, folks. Well, once again, I want to thank you guys for coming. Let me see. Are there any situations you would set a trade with safety up and down?
There's where you would say, yes, that's what we do, Jack, actually, almost every single weekend. When we said with the TLT, the bonds that we did last weekend that were up 90%, that was exactly it. Market went down, bonds go up, bonds are inverse, and we made that much.
Yep. All right. Well, Lance, I'm going to grab the screen here, my man. Once again, thank you so much for your time today, number one. And thank you, number two, for all the work that you and the team have put in to go ahead and creating this incredible alert system that you have. You know, we're all looking for an edge when trading the markets. And to me, this is kind of like the pure definition of an edge, because I know that we all know that people trade on information that they have that's not generally available to the public. And you, once again, have created a system here that enables you to spot it. And as you said, they try to get sneaky on Friday afternoons before the market closes, spreading it across 16 different exchanges. And you have the tools to catch that and basically go, hey, I don't know what he knows.
Exactly.
He knows something. And I'm just going to place I'm just going to draft like a little pilot fish. I'm just going to follow that big shark along and take advantage of what's going on. And what's interesting. When I first had this presentation, I can remember I always had this instinct to want to go to my charts, for some
Nope.
confirmation. And the problem is the charts aren't going to show you a confirmation because it
Nope.
hadn't happened yet.
Exactly, Raleigh. Exactly. You don't get glued on the charts because the charts can be a little deceiving out there, and we don't want to like in Peloton, the example was going straight down. In Marvel, the chart was not great, or Corsair Gaming, and then next thing you know, boom, big news comes out, the stocks explode to the upside, and it's really just a unique way of trading, and that's what I'm trying to get people to do, not be reactive to the markets like most people will talk about. Look, the stock market's going to the 200-day or to this line. That's reactive and trying to get you to be proactive in
Good
trading.
point.
And that's how real money is made in the markets, by being proactive, not reactive. So
Yep.
hope that helps. Raleigh, let me go here. I got literally like 200 emails I got to get to right now
Okay, buddy.
from folks out there. So I'll see everyone tomorrow. That's 3 p.m. for the live weekend wiretap trading. And if you're a member, thank you for signing up. Go to the members area. There'll be the link there tomorrow, and you'll get emailed text and telegram a link.
That sounds great. Take care, Lance. Appreciate it, buddy. So, folks, once again, that was Lance Ippolito sharing with us, a technique that he's developed for taking advantage of opportunities that occur over the weekend. Now, for those of you that came late, my name is Raleigh White. I'm the senior moderator here at the Trading Pub and the Prosperity Pub. And I have the great good fortune of being able to work with folks like Lance as they bring to us strategies, techniques, approaches that they've created for themselves on how they like to trade the markets. And once they see something that is just works so well with repeatability, etc., that's when they package it up and bring it to the public. And we like to think it's a way to get an edge in trading. Now, a couple of things that I'd like to share with you. First of all, this is a live presentation. And if any of you would like to have a link to a copy of this presentation, all I need you to do is three things. Go ahead and give me your name and your email address and say, send me the replay. And as soon as the replay is available, I'll have our team send that out to you. Secondly, what I've done is I've created a little summary over what Lance presented today. I've stripped out all the marketing stuff and testimonials and things of that nature, but just want to make sure for those of you that may have come late or would just like to have one more run through as to what this is all about, I'm going to cover that. And then I'll also talk about the special offers that we have available. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat panel and I'll address those when I'm finished with this summary. So today's focus was on the wiretap trade alerts. And to our knowledge, it's the only weekend trading program that's consistently outperformed the market. And in today's information driven society, really nothing is kept secret, especially on Wall Street. Now, confidential information is often leaked and shared amongst hedge funds, corporate insiders, trade desk, and investment bankers, and is traded well before it makes the front page news. But that's where our system comes in, and it's called wiretap. The wiretap system scans all 16 major options exchanges for this kind of specific wire activity. And it also takes into account a number of other trade factors, including the trade size, the premium, time in sales, open interest, trading volume, and a handful of others. And that's how we've been able to spot Wall Street acting on leaked information before the news goes into mainstream. And by spotting them on Friday afternoons, it gives us an opportunity to take advantage of those big moves. So, for example, look what happened with Las Vegas Sands. Now, Lance shared this opportunity, but I want to reshare it because it really brings the point home. Over the past 3 years, the stock had lost shareholders about 30%. Put simply, the stock has been in a horrific downward trend. But at 3:33 p.m., the wiretap system flagged 14 wire transactions in a single second. So in 1 second, we saw that there were 14 wire transactions across 14 different exchanges. That meant that some Wall Street players were taking a position in anticipation of a big weekend news story. Why were people buying all these calls when this stock really was looking like a dog? And sure enough, look what the stock was grabbing all the headlines before the open. Las Vegas Sands reaches a new 1-year high after analysts upgrade. And when the market opened at 9:30 a.m., LVS popped and the alert shot up 67%. So by buying a call here on Friday on that news in advance of the release of that information, we didn't know what it was or when it was going to come out. We were able to achieve a 67% gain on that options trade. Bought a call, got out here with a 67% gain. And what that would have done, if you had invested $2,000 into that, you would have walked away with $3,360. And oh, by the way, if you're a small player like me, if you had just bought a single option for $200, you would have walked away with $336. So if you'd like to join us today, here is how the program worked. Now, we also know that your program works. And before I go a little bit further, I just want to show you that, because several people asked the question, what the results have been. Over the past 3.5 years, the patterns maintained about a 67.5% win rate. The average weighted return is 6.5%. So when I say weighted average return, that means if we net winners against losers, every trade that's taken has yielded on average 6.05% with an average hold time of 3 days. And in our model portfolio, once again, we've seen an average annual return of about 516%. So let's take a look, that was some historical data. Let's take a look at how this is done so far in 2025. In January, we closed a 76% winner on Intel, 63% on Amazon, and 39% on Rocket Labs. Then in February, we saw a 16% winner on Rocket, 20% on Ketos, and 24% on Netflix. And in March, despite the brutality across the board in March, we locked in a 35% gain on FSLR, 92% on TLT, and 100% winner on SQQQ. All right. So When you get the program, what you can expect is every Friday, Lance and his team are monitoring the wiretap system. And when they identify a wire so big that we believe that someone is trying to capitalize on a weekend news release, we'll pick the appropriate option and we'll send you 3 brand new wiretap alerts. Each alert will come out Friday around 3 p.m. Eastern time, folks. People have been asking me the question, 3 p.m. What time zone? Everything we quote to you in times is Eastern. So around 3 p.m. Eastern time, or an hour before the market closes, you're going to get a text, an email, and a telegram alert telling you that there's a trade waiting for you. All you have to do is decide if the opportunity is right for you and if you want to go ahead and take the trades. Now, in addition to that, then you can expect that you're going to receive an exit alert on every Monday morning. So they'll follow up for instructions on the day. The goal is always the same, which is to sell at the open. But there may be times when the trade may need a little bit more time to develop, and they'll let you know about that. So what Lance likes to do is he likes to get the trade alert out to you. Oh, I think just right around 9 o'clock, a half hour before the market opens. And he's either going to be telling you, hey, sell at the open, or he may be saying, hey, folks, we're going to hold on to it for a little bit, and then he'll provide additional exit information. But you are going to get entry and exit alerts. You're also going to get the weekend wiretap portfolio, okay? And this portfolio tracks all the information that we do in real time. So if we take a look at the 400 plus trades that have been issued since this was first started 3.5 years ago, every single one of those trades is on this big spreadsheet. And it's a way that we show you all of our activity. It's obviously a dynamic document because we're adding 3 trades to it every week. So you'll always be able to see how we're performing on these live trade alerts. We're also going to include a training classes on the Options Pro crash course, and we're going to give you a special tax report. Now, what's interesting here is that Lance wanted to make sure, because there are many people that may not be familiar with trading options, and he wanted to make sure that you have an options course available to you, where he teaches you how he likes to use options to trade the markets. And in this case, folks, this is level 1 options, okay? It's the simplest form of options trading, and any broker that allows you to trade US stocks and options will allow you to place level 1 trades on their platform. Simply speaking, we're looking at directional trades. So if we have a long signal, if somebody knows something and they're accumulating a bunch of stuff and they're buying a ton of calls, we're going to be buying calls right along with them. Or if somebody knows something and they're getting ready, to basically dump the stock and they're buying a bunch of puts, we'll be buying puts. So we'll be buying calls on a bullish signal and buying puts on a bearish signal. Very straightforward. So what's the average cost per option contract? Well, over these 400 plus trades, it's averaged to about $156. So we think it's small account friendly. You can buy a single options contract for around $156. So once again, not expensive whatsoever. Does it work with, let me see here. Will we close? Yeah. Will we close every trade on Monday morning? Most of them do, but there are times, okay, when a trade needs an extra day to develop, meaning that they might close the position on Tuesday morning. Because what if the news doesn't break on Sunday? What if it comes out on Monday? So discretionally, we may hold it a little extra longer, but Lance is going to let you know what's going on. Does it work with put options too? Absolutely. Some of the best trades Lance has seen has been puts. For example, here's 113% winner on ZTS. Okay. So on Friday at this point in time, right here, Lance basically saw a wire that said that somebody was piling a ton of money into buying puts on ZTS. And so we bought puts here. And then on Monday, you can see we had a fairly precipitous drop here in the program, and that ended up being 113% on that. Now, if for some reason wiretaps is not right for you, we do have a 14-day money-back guarantee. So you're going to have 14 days from your date of purchase to take advantage of this program, which means you're going to get a couple of alerts. And you'll also have the opportunity to look at all the educational material, take a hard look at all the past trades that we've done, satisfy yourself on our performance and on our track record. But if for whatever reason you're just not comfortable with this, you've got 14 days to give us a call and say, hey, I'd like my money back and we'll refund every penny of your investment. So when you go to the landing page here, when you click on this link, lancepolito.com/wiretap, when you click on that, it's going to take you to this order page, and you can see it's very simple. There's only one price, $9.97. It says VIP. VIP is synonymous with lifetime. So VIP lifetime, $9.97. No renewal fees whatsoever. As we change and modify and enhance this, we'll never charge you a software upgrade fee. And it's a legacy license, which means that if at some point in time you'd like to gift your membership to a family member or a friend, associate, or whatnot, all you have to do is call us and tell us that you want to, exchange your subscription with someone else, and we'll be glad to do that for you at no cost whatsoever. And what an awesome gift that would be to give to somebody, ongoing lifetime access to wiretap trade alerts. So that's the summary that I wanted to give folks. Let me look at the chat panel and see what we have here. See, a number of you are looking for the replay. That's great. And that's can the tariff affect the flow of dollars? So Jack asks a question here. Can the tariff laws affect the flow of dollars to Canada? Jack, I honestly don't know. I wish I could tell you, but I don't know. I'm totally the wrong person. This, you know, what's happened today with these tariffs is just being I guess is being internalized about, as to what the impact is going to be. And it's going to touch on so many aspects of not only trade relations, but just ordinary life, for people not only here in the United States, but abroad. And I think we're all trying to figure out how it's going to impact us. But the market has certainly told us that they don't think a lot about what's going on. And so the sell-off has been global. It'd be interesting to see tomorrow if things level off a little bit, if there's some bargain hunting that goes on, or if there's continued sell-off. Maria says, do you know if there's a payment plan available? Not that I'm aware of, but that doesn't mean that there isn't. And I recommend that you call our sales department at 904-706-3539 and ask them if there's a payment plan. It doesn't hurt to ask at all. So there you go. So once again, folks, thank you so much for coming today. We know your time is valuable, and I certainly hope that you got benefit out of this presentation. I'm saving the chat panel now so that I have your email addresses, and I'll make sure I get those to our customer care team so they can send you a link to the replay as soon as it's available. And with that, folks, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I hope your Friday is I was going to say exciting. I hope your Friday is good to you, okay? And that you have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to seeing you at a future event. Take care, folks.